So far our bass notes play once and hold for the length of the chord, or they just have some sort of short pulse. Like every other instrument, like our kick and hi-hat, we need the ability to add extra notes to make it more energetic for our more energetic sections. So we'll learn all about this in this video. Stay tuned. All right, so we've already learned that the kick and the bass are inseparable, and this does not change for this video. So far we have one bass note per chord. Okay, so if you take a look here, every time the chord changes, we have a single note. So that's A minor, that's for G, and so on and so forth. But what if we want to have a more energetic section? For example, the second part of the verse, it's pretty much the same as the first, but what if I wanted to make it a little bit more energetic? Well, first of all, I would probably add some kicks, and I would make sure that the kick and the bass, that they match on maybe almost every note. So let's take a look at my kick over here. So I'm going to go to the piano roll, and I can see that there's a kick right here, and a kick right here. So 1, 2, and 3 for this first bar. Okay, so let's go bar by bar. And we'll just use the cycle region to kind of help us focus on what we're looking at. So if I change to the light bass, I can see that I only have 2 bass notes. So for this second chord, which is G major, there's a kick that's occurring right here. Let's move the playhead there. So I can go and add an extra bass note right there. And since I'm just doing these short pulses, I'll just keep it really short as well. Okay, now for this next bar, the bass and the kick, they line up perfectly. 2 notes for the kick, 2 notes for the bass. The bar after that, however, has 3 notes for the kick and 2 notes for the bass. So let's sync that up as well. And this is going to be a G, so we'll create another G there. So now you're going to hear the kick and the bass perfectly together, and I'll just play the first 2 bars. Okay, so that sounds really good. So let's say we want to go and kind of make this a little bit more energetic. Okay, so I'll put a couple more notes in, and we'll do the same thing for this bar. Okay, not too much, so I have 5 notes here. That's probably as far as I'd go for a section like this. And I'm just gonna cut this region. So if we right click here, and we gotta move the playhead to where we wanna split it. So I wanna chop it right here. So I have the playhead there, split region, delete, and I'm gonna copy my new one over here. Now to select both of them, okay, if you click on this, hold shift, click on this, it allows you to select both and then merge. Okay. So now I have a bunch more spots where I need to place, and I can just kind of look at this region up here. I don't even need to click on the kick part. So as I'm looking, I can see that right here, there's another kick note. So I need another bass there. Well, what chord are we on currently? We're on A minor. So that means I need A, okay, not anything else. And then here the chord changes. Okay, so far the kick and the bass are matching, but oh, there's another one. Now we don't have to match every single one, but it is nice too. Okay, so for this time, I will match every single one. Okay, so you're checking to see what is my chord, what note do I need? Okay, and in fact, actually, I think I'm gonna take out a couple of these, and then for the next 2 bars, I'll match all of them. So I gotta match this one. It's gonna be A. And I gotta match this one. This is gonna be a G major, so it's gonna be G. Then I gotta match the next one. That's gonna be F major. And then I have 2 C's coming up. Right there and right there. So let's listen to see what this sounds like together. And I'll just solo the bass, the kick, and the snare. So you can see that that kick was by itself. I think that sometimes that sounds strange, but really it's up to you. So if you want to match every single one every single time, go nuts. I think that sounds great. You don't have to, once again. Or if you want to make just this one longer so it covers both kicks, you could do that too. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's hear it with everything in context. Okay, and let's listen from the beginning of the verse. Take off the cycle region.
Watch out, they said I won't see you coming. Last time for sure, one blink now we're standing face to face. And I'm hesitant, open, come on direction. I get in ahead of myself. You smell like cause you know you got.
We can see right away, this section is way more energetic. It has more kick notes, it has more bass notes. It just feels more energetic.
Hesitant, open, come on direction. I get in ahead of myself. You smell like cause you know you got my attention. Now it's up to me. You're looking at me and I can't go stare.
All right, let's head over to the chorus and let's give it the same treatment. So we can see where our kicks are. So unfortunately, I can't split the note itself, I don't think. I can only split regions. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna shorten this and then we'll just create a new note right there. And so one thing that I like to do is I like to have a little tiny gap between the notes. Sometimes, depending on the sound, you might not hear that there's two notes there. So if you can't hear, let's just solo this. This is the 808. I'll just move this back up. Okay, I can clearly hear that there's two notes there. But with some instruments, you might not be able to. So if you go and turn off snap to grid, now you can kind of just create a tiny gap there. Okay, and that might be helpful for some instruments. All right, but for this instrument, it's fine. No gap needed. And I'll turn snap to grid back on. All right, so I'm gonna continue going across. There's another kick. I think there's two there actually. Yeah, there are. Okay, so it helps to really zoom in. Okay, so now I can see that there's two kicks there. So same thing, I'm gonna shorten that. I'll put one right there, one right there. And then there's another kick right there. Okay, let's go on to this note. So I'm literally just matching these up. Okay, that looks good. So kick, kick. And so it's going until we see the next kick. So here's the next kick, and I can tell that there's two there. I see a little tiny gap. All right, so if you didn't want to do that, for example, you could have like one that just kind of covers both. Okay, so that covers for that one. Okay, that's why having the gap, having like a tiny, tiny gap can kind of help you see things a little bit better. You'll see it up here as well, right? You can see, okay, there's distinct notes. And so we could go to the piano roll for this and kind of just make these slightly shorter. That way, these ones that are right next to each other, they don't look like it's just one single note. Okay, it'll help us visually. It doesn't really matter how long the kicks are or appear. Okay, so that will help us a lot. Let's go back to the 808. And so we're right here and snap to grid's still on. So I can see that my next note is ending there. So I need another note right there. I can shorten it or not. Okay, this one ends right there. I need another note. So these are so close, I might just have one note cover them. All right, we're almost done, but I'll just let you hear what it sounds like from now, and I'll just solo the kick, the bass, and the snare. Okay, now the 808 actually sounds like a kick. So if you just heard the snare and the kick, it would actually sound like there's a snare, like there's a kick as well. Sorry, the snare and the 808. Okay, the 808 sounds very similar to a kick. it has that thuddy nature to it. Okay, so I just have to finish up the rest of that, but I think you get the picture by now. So adding some extra notes, making sure it syncs with the kick, can be really, really useful in developing a bass section so that it's more energetic. So hopefully that helps. Stay tuned for more.